Call this beat Will Smith, cause it slaps hard.
Hey guys, welcome to Couch Chat. So I'm sitting here reading an article about Marvel Studios, and I want to show you guys how their strategy in the past versus their current strategy going forward can parallel with how you're doing dating. So I know a lot of you guys worry about like, man, I really like this girl, and you want to text her all the time, you want to see her all the time, you want to be around her all the time, and you may not be aware that that could be to your detriment. And so we're going to do a parallel, right? So this is an article about Marvel Studios. It says how Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. Now that word fatigue is very important. So what happened over the last few years was this. In 2019, at Avengers Endgame came out. And it was like the culmination of 10 years worth of Marvel stories, basically, right? But at that point, Marvel was putting out about 4 movies a year. Now, when they started, they were only putting out like 1 or 2, because in 2008, they put out Iron Man and they put out the Hulk. Then they waited a year, and then they put out a couple more movies. The next year, a couple more movies, and then Avengers. And then that went well, so they said, hey, let's now do 3 movies a year. So they started putting out 3 movies a year, and audiences responded positively. And then as they got closer to the last 2 Avengers movies, they were like, hey, people really like our stuff. Let's put out more stuff. And then so they put out 4 movies a year, leading up to Endgame, which is one of the biggest movies of all time, right? So then after that, we all know what happened. 2020 came, and nothing was put out because studios wouldn't be able to make their money back, so it just went away. So in a way to try to catch up to the fact that there was nothing that came out in 2020, in 2021, Marvel was like, hey, we need to put out all the things. So on Disney Plus, they were putting out shows like every other month. Like you had you had the WandaVision come out. Then you had Loki come out. Then you had some other stuff that came out that year. It was like 4 or 5 different shows in 2021 alone. And then 2022 had like 3 or 4 more shows. It was a lot of stuff. On top of, they also put out like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, the one that I can't remember that wasn't all that great, and then Spider-Man. So they put out 4 movies in the span of like 8 months or 7 months in 2022, right? 2021 rather. And then 2022 came, they put out 4 more movies. And so what started to happen was the box office suffered because they started not getting the same return on investment. They started losing money. The quality of the movies and of the TV shows also went down to where audiences for the first time started really complaining about the fact that they were actually getting too much Marvel content. They were getting too much, and the stuff that they were getting wasn't all that great, to where in 2023, you had Ant-Man come out, you had the Marvels come out, and those movies bombed. They weren't written all that great. Audiences didn't respond well. But more importantly, aside from that stuff, because there have been Marvel movies in the past that were just kind of like okay, but this is like the first time where the movies were just okay, and even the fanboys were like, this is a lot of stuff, And so, and that includes on the TV front as well. So what happened was the older Disney president came in and said, okay, we got to slow down a bit. And also we had a strike last year, right? So because of the strike, a lot of movies ended up getting delayed. Scripts got delayed. The pre-production of stuff got delayed. And this was actually a godsend for Marvel because it allowed Marvel to say, hey, oh man, we got to delay some movies because the strike happened, the actors struck, the writers struck. Oh man, we need more time. And so now, this year, the only movie that's coming out from Marvel proper, because they have, Marvel, Sony, and they're already bombing with Madam Web. But anyway, Marvel proper on Disney is only putting out Deadpool. And they only have 2 TV shows coming out in terms of like main series, which was Echo and the Agatha series, right? And they are like, the Echo came out in January, August, Agatha's coming out like later this year. So they're far apart in terms of the release date. So Marvel proper only has like 3 new properties that are coming out this year. 4 if you count the reanimation of like X-Men 97, right? And I have found that we only have 1 Marvel movie coming out this year. Everybody is like hyped because they're like, oh my God, we only get 1. And it's going to be Deadpool 3. This is going to be like the best fucking thing ever. So looking at this, I look at the strategy of what was happening before and now and what changed, right? So before, Marvel was trying to be around all the time and do all the things and please all the audiences. And as a result, they started to lose pretty big, right? And now that you're getting less Marvel, you're only getting out 2 or 3 shows. it's 2 or 3 things that fans can now look forward to instead of being like, okay, we got a Marvel movie this month, we got a Marvel show next month, and a Marvel show after that, then another movie coming out. Like, there's never any time for us to miss Marvel if they're constantly coming out with properties every single month of the year, which felt like that's what we were doing the last couple of years, right? So how does this correlate to dating? Well, this is why I say to you guys that as much as you think it's a bad strategy to not text all the time, to not try to call her, to not try to see her all the time, to be up in her face nonstop, you're thinking doing that is going to give you an edge against all the other guys that she's seeing and is going to make her realize that you want her so much that she can't help but to choose you. You're thinking that in the beginning, what she wants and what's going to help her choose you is more of your presence. And as you can see from the Marvel example, in the beginning, what made people want to see them was that we only knew we were getting a finite amount of Marvel content. We're getting 1 or 2 movies a year, maybe a show or 2, and that's it. And so we spent time building up anticipation to see and experience these various properties. And that's how it is with dating. You know, you guys think if I go a week without seeing her or talking to her, she's going to wonder if I'm playing games, or she's not going to remember me and she's going to forget about me. You know what's actually happening is that if you start dating her and she's already starting to feel high interest in you, then for her, waiting a week to see you is a week worth of anticipation that she builds up to be able to get those happy feelings that she had when you were around the first time. And you want her to build up those feelings. But if you're around all the time, she never gets the chance to miss you enough to build up those feelings. Hey, I'm the biggest Marvel fan in the world, and even I was like, this is a lot. Like, we just got a movie a month ago, and now we're about to get another one next month. Like, I haven't had a time to break off, to research what the next movie is going to be about, and to figure out what the ending scene of this movie meant for this one, and have time to wait months on end. Like, Avengers worked because you got an Avengers movie knowing you were going to have to wait a whole 3 or 4 years to get another one. And then even with Endgame, where it came a year apart, the way they ended the first part of that 2-part series was like, oh crap, Thanos got his way. Spoiler. Thanos got his way. What happens next? They just cut the movie off. What's going on? I have to wait a year. It wasn't like, oh, I watched Infinity War, and now I wait a week for the answer. They made us all wait a whole freaking year to get the end of that. And that's why that movie made so much money, because they knew how to build up anticipation for that. Do that in your dating life, guys. Take a woman on a great date, show her a great time, and then make her wait a few days before she hears from you. Make her wait another week before you ask her out again on another date. Let her build up the anticipation she needs to really be excited to see you, so you won't end up like Marvel, where you have to now retool or start seeing somebody else because you messed up with this one so bad simply because you weren't patient and couldn't make them wait a little bit. So I just wanted to talk about that because I just saw the Marvel article and was like, oh my God, this parallels to dating. Marvel's learned to step back a bit and wait and help us to anticipate them again. That's amazing. So do that in your dating life. Anyway, that's all I got for today's Couch Chat. Thanks for watching. I'm Harry Wilmington. And be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-class man. You a high-earning, high-value, high-class man. You a high